You ever wake up in the morning and feel like your entire life is hanging in the balance of those first few minutes? Like everything you do or don't do right after your eyes open is either giving you power or quietly stealing it away. I want you to consider that moment your mind is fresh, your heart is beating, your lungs are taking in that first deep breath of a new day. And in that instant, you stand on a threshold between yesterday's past and tomorrow's possibilities. Now, I don't care who you are or where you come from. Maybe you're a student juggling 3 jobs. Maybe you're a mother trying to raise your children. Or maybe you're a leader responsible for the lives of others. Those first moments of dawn can either be a lifeline or a trap. Because what you do first thing in the morning has the power to shape the hours ahead. And the hours ahead will shape your life. Many of us roll out of bed, check our phones, see the world screaming at us through headlines, messages, deadlines, and tragedies. We let ourselves become victims of circumstance before we even brush our teeth. That's the tragedy, right? We surrender control of our minds and our hearts the moment we hit that snooze button or let notifications hijack our peace. Now, I'm not judging you. I've been there too. I know how easy it is to slip into that autopilot. Wake up, scroll mindlessly, gulp down coffee, rush out the door, and repeat until the weekend. But that pattern can slowly drain your spirit. It can rob you of your energy, your hope, and your capacity to invest in what truly matters. Imagine a different scenario. Imagine you start your day with intention and clarity. You take a moment to acknowledge that, yes, you are alive. That alone is a miracle worth celebrating. You claim your morning as your personal training ground. Instead of letting the chaos of the world invade your mental space, you seize the reins. You decide that the first things you do, the first thoughts you entertain, will be purposeful. Think about how that single decision could ripple throughout your day. Maybe that calm, focused energy helps you handle stress at work in a new way. Maybe it gives you the patience you need to treat the people around you with kindness. Maybe it sparks a creative insight you've been waiting for. The possibilities are endless, and they start the moment you open your eyes. Now, I'm not here to hand you a perfect recipe for success wrapped in a bow, but I am here to spark a conversation with your future self. You see, each morning is a stage where your future self observes how you treat your present self. Think about that. If every morning you're sluggish, weighed down, mentally checked out, you're sending your future self a message: I can't be bothered. But if you step into each morning with purpose, conviction, and a little spark of gratitude, you're telling your future self, I respect you. I'm preparing for what you might become. That's why it's important. Because no matter how strong your drive is, no matter how big your dream is, if you don't set the tone of your morning, your environment will set it for you. I stand before you today not as a know-it-all guru, but as someone who has learned through sweat, tears, and more mistakes than I care to count, that the morning is sacred. It's an offering. It's a new slate. And I want to share with you 3 powerful, practical things you can do every morning that will change the way your day unfolds. These aren't magic tricks. These aren't shortcuts. They're choices. And they're choices that, with repetition, can shift your life in ways you might not believe possible right now. But to make them stick, you have to commit. That's the question. Are you ready to commit to yourself? Are you ready to stand up each morning and say, I am going to be present for my life? Because that's what it boils down to, being present. Being awake. Not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. And I promise you, once you learn to be present in the morning, you become unstoppable for the rest of the day. So let's dig deep. Let's talk about how you can lock in your focus, protect your energy, and harness the power that's already inside of you. Because life is not about how many hours you can cram into your schedule. It's about how much purpose, clarity, and energy you can bring into every single hour. And if you want your day to be driven by intention instead of distraction, you need to master those first moments. You need a game plan, a routine, a vow you make every single dawn to stand firmly in your purpose. These three things, simple, direct, and deeply transformative, are going to give you that edge. And I want you to lean in now. Open your heart and hear me out. Because if you do, you might just transform your life one sunrise at a time. The first thing you should do every morning is move your body. Don't underestimate this. Move, stretch, walk. Dance in your kitchen if you want. Because let me tell you something. Your body is more than just a machine that gets you from point A to point B. It's the vessel that carries your soul, your dreams, your entire identity through this world. When you neglect it, you're neglecting the foundation of everything else you want to accomplish. If you roll out of bed and slump into your day, you're telling your body, I don't need you at your best. But is that really the message you want to send? Picture yourself standing in front of a mirror first thing in the morning. Your reflection may not be glamorous. Your hair might be standing in 50 directions, and your eyes might still be heavy with sleep. But that reflection is honest. That reflection is you. And when you decide in that moment to move, to stretch your arms high above your head, to roll your shoulders, to do a quick set of push-ups, or even just pace around your living room, you are reminding yourself that you are alive, that your body is capable, and that you have agency over how you feel. If you skip this step, if you sit stagnant and let the day come to you, with no physical readiness, you risk dragging your energy levels through the mud. You risk letting aches and stiffness dictate your mood. You risk losing the immediate rush of endorphins that can set your brain on a positive track. I know someone who used to wake up every morning feeling like life was pressing down on her chest. She told me that before she even reached for her toothbrush, she felt weighed down by responsibilities, deadlines, and an overwhelming sense of not being enough. Then one day she decided, before she let the day run her, she'd run the day. She put on her sneakers, walked out the door, and simply walked around the block. That act changed her life. Because in those moments of movement, she discovered that the fresh air and the physical effort had a way of shaking her mind free from fear. She returned to her home a little breathless, a little sweaty, but also a lot more confident that she could handle what lay ahead. The simple discipline of moving her body gave her a sense of control, a sense of victory before she even opened her email. And when I tell you that one small action can be the difference between self-doubt and self-determination, I'm not exaggerating. If you neglect your body, you pay for it down the line. Physically, mentally, emotionally, sitting for hours, feeling that ache in your back, that tension in your neck, that sluggishness in your step. Those aren't just physical symptoms. They're signals that your life's momentum is stuck in park. Movement is the simplest way to shift gears. It doesn't require fancy equipment or expensive memberships. You can start in your living room. You can do jumping jacks, squats, or yoga poses, whatever resonates with you. The key is to send a message to yourself. I am awake, and I am ready to engage with this day. Because the second you spark that fire in your muscles, you spark a fire in your mind. You begin to breathe deeper, filling every cell with oxygen and energy. That sense of vitality can cascade through your entire day. And don't just move aimlessly. Move with awareness. Notice how your body feels. Notice the stretch in your hamstrings when you touch your toes. Notice the expansion in your chest when you take a full inhale. Notice how good it feels to be truly present in your own skin. That awareness transforms mere movement into a ritual. It reminds you that every single muscle, every heartbeat is a gift you have right now. How can you not use it well? So tomorrow morning, before you check your phone, before you worry about that stack of bills or the endless to-do list, take a moment and move. Create a small routine that feels right for you. Maybe it's 5 minutes, maybe it's 10, maybe it's a full workout. Whatever it is, make it a priority, because you deserve to begin your day from a place of energy, not exhaustion, of power, not passivity. Now, once you've lit that spark of physical energy, the second thing you should do every morning is consciously cultivate gratitude. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Gratitude. That's just a fluffy feeling, right? No. Gratitude is a powerful lens that colors everything you see and do. It's like putting on a pair of glasses that filters out negativity. When you're grateful, you're telling your brain to focus on what's working, what's beautiful, what's possible. Without gratitude, it's easy to let the problems overshadow the blessings. You wake up, stub your toe, and suddenly the entire day feels ruined. But with gratitude, you stub your toe, you feel the pain, sure, but then you remember that at least you can feel you can walk. You can move. That mindset shifts your perspective from lack to abundance. Let me share a story. There was a time in my life when I felt the weight of the world on my shoulders. Expectations were high, challenges were everywhere, and I found myself spiraling into a cycle of negativity each morning. The first thing I thought it was everything that was wrong. My mind was a catalog of complaints. One day a mentor told me, Denzel, start your morning by naming 3 things you're grateful for. Don't just think them, speak them out loud. I thought it was too simple, too trivial, but I did it anyway. And you know what happened? By the time I spoke my 3rd point of gratitude, something inside of me felt lighter. It was as if I'd flipped a switch in my mind from focusing on crisis to focusing on hope. If you fail to practice gratitude, you pay a high price. You become more reactive to stress. Your mind amplifies irritations. Small setbacks become monumental. You lose sight of the progress you're making. Before you know it, the day's burdens stack up like bricks, and you feel trapped. Gratitude, on the other hand, dismantles the walls. It reminds you that not everything is wrong. In fact, most things in life are blessings if you take the time to look closely. The soft pillow you slept on, the friend who sent you a text, the fact that you have breath in your lungs. These aren't trivial. They're miracles in everyday clothing. So how do you cultivate gratitude in a practical, powerful way? First, find a moment of stillness after you move your body. Close your eyes. Think about something you appreciate, a person, an opportunity, a memory. Feel that appreciation in your chest. Speak it or write it down. The act of articulating gratitude cements it in your mind. It's like you're training your brain to hunt for the good. And once you train your brain in that way, it'll start noticing things throughout the day that might pass you by before. Perhaps you spot a beautiful sunrise you never took time to notice. Maybe you realize the coffee you're sipping is a luxury many people don't have, or you find renewed appreciation for the supportive coworker who always has your back. Gratitude is not denial. It doesn't mean you ignore problems. It means you recognize that no problem can overshadow the magnitude of life's gifts. When you operate from gratitude, even obstacles can become teachers. You start seeing silver linings, lessons, and opportunities to grow. You shift from being a victim of circumstance to a student of life, always willing to learn and see the bright side. And that energy is contagious. People around you will notice your calm, your optimism, and they'll feel drawn to it. By the end of the day, the chain reaction you set in motion during those first moments of the morning could spread far beyond what you'd ever imagine. So remember, after you've honored your body with movement, honor your heart and mind with gratitude. Let that gratitude ground you. Let it humble you. Let it remind you that life itself is a gift worth fighting for. Then, carry that feeling with you like armor as you step into the day's challenges. Because life will always throw curveballs, but gratitude allows you to stand firm, smile at the chaos, and say, I see the good anyway. Now, you've powered up your body. You've sharpened your mind with gratitude, and you're standing on the edge of all the tasks and duties waiting for you. The third thing you should do every morning is set a clear intention for the day. This is crucial, because if you don't decide what you want your day to be, someone else will decide for you. Whether it's your boss, social media, or the constant push and pull of random events, your direction will be hijacked unless you claim it first. And there is nothing more tragic than a gifted individual wandering through the day with no compass, no aim, no personal mission. An intention can be anything that resonates with you. It could be, I choose to bring kindness to every interaction. Or, today, I will focus on finishing that project I've been putting off. Or, today, I will practice patience with myself and others. The point is not what the intention is, it's that you have one. By articulating an intention, you place a filter on your day. You program your subconscious mind to notice opportunities that align with that intention. You give yourself a standard to return to when distractions crop up. It's like forging a path in a dense forest. Without a path, you'll likely wander in circles. With a path, every step has purpose. If you neglect to set an intention, you become like a boat at sea without a rudder. The winds of other people's expectations can blow you anywhere. You might end the day feeling lost, unaccomplished, and overwhelmed, not because you lack talent or discipline, but because you never set a direction. I've seen this happen countless times. People have enormous potential, they have big dreams, but they never define a simple intention for the next 24 hours. And so they allow themselves to be tossed around by petty conflicts, minor setbacks, and a flood of digital noise. Let me give you an example of how intention changed someone's life. A friend of mine was drowning in responsibilities. He had a demanding job, a family, and personal goals that seemed to be collecting dust on a shelf. Each morning, he jumped into the day with no plan, just a vague hope he'd get things done. But by the evening, he always felt behind. Then he began setting one daily intention. Sometimes it was laser focused, like finish the budget report by 3 p.m. Other times it was more personal, like be fully present when talking to my kids. And you know what happened? Day by day, his world started to shift. Because instead of being pushed around by crisis, he had an anchor. Even if unexpected challenges arose, he returned to his intention and recalibrated. He knew what success looked like for that day. Setting an intention doesn't mean everything goes perfectly. Life is still unpredictable. But it does mean that when chaos comes, you have a reference point. You can ask yourself, does this help me fulfill my intention, or does it pull me away? That question alone can save you from a multitude of distractions and detours. It grants you clarity. It grants you power. And each time you exercise that power, you build confidence in your ability to steer your life. You're not just reacting, you're directing. You're not just surviving, you're creating. So what does setting an intention look like in practice? Start by taking a quiet moment after you've moved your body and acknowledged your blessings. Breathe deeply. Ask yourself, what matters most today? The answer will bubble up from within. Maybe it's being patient with your coworkers. Maybe it's making significant progress on a goal. Maybe it's taking time for self-care. Say it out loud or write it down. Make it known. Then carry that intention in your mind like a guidepost. When distractions inevitably appear, and they will, you bring your attention back to that guidepost. It's a simple act that can have a profound impact. Now, let's wrap this together. You start your morning by moving your body to ignite your energy. Then you cultivate gratitude to ground your perspective in abundance. Finally, you set a clear intention for the day, giving yourself a reason, a focus, a purpose. These 3 steps, movement, gratitude, intention, form a powerful trifecta. They don't take hours. They just take awareness and commitment. And they can redefine your relationship with time, with challenges, with life itself. I want to remind you that these practices are not about perfection. They're about progression. Some mornings, you'll jump out of bed with vigor. Other mornings, life might throw you a curveball, and you'll feel tempted to skip your routine. But consistency is key. Even a modest effort is better than no effort. When you make these 3 steps a habit, you're telling the universe and yourself that you value the gift of a new day. You're refusing to let chance or negativity write your life script. You're standing up every morning and declaring, I am the author of my day. Now we arrive at a crucial moment. We've talked about moving your body. We've dived into the power of gratitude. And we've set a course with intention. Think about how those 3 actions can weave together. Think about the sense of aliveness you can claim before the clock even strikes 8. Imagine carrying that energy into your workplace, your relationships, your personal pursuits. See yourself greeting setbacks not as ultimate defeats, but as detours, because your spirit is buoyed by gratitude and anchored by a clear purpose. See how your focus sharpens when distractions arise, because you know precisely what you want from each day. That vision is within your reach, but you have to seize it. Let's reflect on all that we journeyed through. We began by acknowledging the critical importance of our mornings. We recognize that those first moments can either be a strong foundation or a quicksand pit of distraction. We felt that twinge of truth when we realized how easily our society bombards us with noise the minute we open our eyes. And yet, we saw a beautiful alternative, choosing to wake up and direct our own story. That's what these 3 steps are about. Granting ourselves the permission to steer, to navigate, to actively shape who we become day by day. First, you move your body. I want you to recall that vivid image of standing in front of the mirror, hair a mess, eyes still half shut, but determined to wake your muscles, your heart, your spirit. Think about the long-term impact: improved health, more energy, a sharper mind, and a confidence that whispers, I'm capable of transformation. And when you face the day, having already your body's need for motion, you don't just carry yourself differently, you think differently. Energy begets energy. Momentum breeds momentum. Second, you embrace gratitude. That priceless shift from dwelling on problems to celebrating blessings. We drew on personal stories of how a simple morning gratitude practice can illuminate even the darkest corners of our worries. You can remember times in your own life when gratitude cracked open a door you thought was locked. By centering yourself on what's right in your world, you equip yourself with a gentle yet potent armor against negativity. When you walk out the door grateful for your life, it becomes much harder for obstacles to rattle your core. Third, you set an intention. This is your personal roadmap for the day, the invisible compass that keeps you on track. We touched on how intention gives meaning to each task, to every interaction. When you know your why, you're far less likely to be swayed by trivialities or to fall prey to the fleeting demands that don't serve your larger vision. It's not magic, but it sure feels magical when you realize you can reclaim your time, your focus, your destiny. One morning at a time. Perhaps you're wondering, all right, but how do I keep this going? That's where your commitment enters. Habits are formed through repetition and reformation. So tomorrow morning, when your alarm sounds, remind yourself, this is where I build my future. Then follow through, move your body, express gratitude, set an intention. Do it the next day and the next. Allow yourself the freedom to adapt. If one morning you can't go for a long run, do a few stretches. If your mind draws a blank on what you're grateful for, start with something small. Clean water, a roof over your head, the simple ability to read these words. If your intention feels scattered, pause and ask, what truly matters to me today? The act of asking that question is powerful in itself. Change doesn't happen in one grand leap. It grows steadily like a tree. Each morning you nurture these 3 seeds: movement, gratitude, intention. And over time, they take root. They flourish into daily resilience, empathy, clarity, and productivity. You won't just notice a shift in yourself. Others will notice it in you. They'll see a spark in your eyes. They'll feel the steadiness in your presence, because you're living from a place of deliberate choice, not compulsion. You're creating a lifestyle, not a quick fix. What's more, these 3 practices act as building blocks for countless other positive habits. When you're physically energized, grateful, and intentional, you're more likely to eat better, kindly, to chase your ambitions, to uplift others. It all stems from that solid foundation you lay down in the morning. One good decision triggers a chain reaction of better decisions throughout the day. And that's how you inch closer to the future you dream of. But remember, none of this is about reaching some state of perfection. You might stumble. There might be days you oversleep or mornings you forget. When that happens, don't be harsh on yourself. Simply notice it, learn from it, and recommit the next day. Perfection is an illusion. Progress is real. And every little step forward is worth celebrating. Now, as we stand here, I want to extend a heartfelt challenge and a call to action. Don't just listen to these words. Wake up tomorrow and do something you've never done before. Greet the day with conscious movement, conscious gratitude, and a conscious intention. See what happens in your mind, your heart, your environment. Feel the subtle surge of power that courses through you when you decide actively and deliberately that you will not be a bystander in your own life. Many people spend their entire existence waiting for the perfect moment to change. They wait for a new job, a new relationship, more money, or more time. But here's the truth. The perfect moment is right now. You create it by deciding that how you live today matters. By owning your morning, you step into the driver's seat of your life. That's what I want for you, to be the driver, not the passenger. And let me be absolutely clear. You have the strength to do this. You might doubt yourself. You might look at your circumstances and think, I'm too busy, or I'm too tired, or I'm too old, or too young, or too out of shape. But I promise you, those are just stories you tell yourself. The human spirit is unimaginably resilient. If you have the desire to improve your life, if you have that flicker of hope inside, that's all you need to start. The rest is discipline, routine, and faith in the process. As you incorporate these 3 morning rituals, movement, gratitude, and intention, you also become a beacon for others. Think about that. Your friends, family, and colleagues will sense a shift in you. They'll see your conviction, your sense of calm, your newfound vitality, and they'll wonder what your secret is. That's when you get to share. That's when you have the privilege to lead, to lift others up, to offer a hand and say, I found a better way to start the day, and I want you to have it too. In a world that often thrives on stress, division, and incessant noise, your calm determination will stand out. Your grace under pressure, fueled by gratitude, will become an oasis for weary souls. Your clarity of purpose will inspire those floundering in uncertainty. By changing your morning, you become a ripple of transformation that touches countless lives. And that, my friends, is how communities shift. That's how families heal. That's how entire workplaces evolve. It begins with one individual who decides to break the cycle of mindless reactivity. So let this be the moment you decide. Not next week, not next month. Now, yes, it's going to take work. Yes. It might require you to sacrifice a little bit of late night TV so you can get up earlier. Yes, you might have to push through discomfort. But I promise you, the reward is worth every ounce of effort. The reward is living each day with more vitality, more hope, more direction. The reward is ending your nights with a sense of achievement and beginning your mornings with a sense of possibility. If there's one thing I want you to walk away with, it's that these three practices are not complicated. They are accessible to anyone willing to show up for themselves. You don't need fancy equipment or a special app or a PhD in mindfulness. All you need is your body, your breath, and your determination to do better today than you did yesterday. Every day you get a chance to rewrite your story, and the pen is in your hand every morning. So I stand here urging you to step boldly into your mornings. Move your body like it's the most precious instrument you own, because it is. Express gratitude for the gifts around you, even if they seem small, because gratitude magnifies blessings. And set a powerful intention, no matter how simple, because it puts you in the captain's chair of your destiny. Do this consistently and watch your life transform in ways you can't predict. Embrace the vision of who you can become when you align your mornings with your deepest values. Embrace the spark within that says, I am worth the effort. I am worth the commitment. In closing, let me say this: life will always have ups and downs. You'll face setbacks, heartbreaks, triumphs, and everything in between. But if you start each day by renewing your commitment to yourself, body, mind, and spirit, you become the kind of person who can stand tall in any storm. You become the kind of person who sees a ray of light in the darkest night. You become the kind of person who lifts others simply by walking into the room. And isn't that the greatest gift we can give? To be so grounded in ourselves that we can afford to extend love, compassion, and guidance to those who need it. This is your journey. This is your morning. This is your life. Stand up tomorrow with determination and pride. Declare that you will not waste the dawn. Move your body with joy, give thanks with sincerity, and chart your course with purpose. Do these three things every morning and watch as your day unfolds with greater clarity, momentum, and grace. That's my challenge to you. That's my call to action. And that is my sincere wish for each and every one of you here today. Thank you. And may tomorrow's sunrise find you ready to embrace all that you are destined to become.